What's up? Here we are going to go through a very simple workout, 3 exercises, and I'm going to talk you through exactly how to do every single exercise. If you're a wrestler, a grappler, you're doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you're doing rugby, this is a fantastic workout for you who struggle with knees, ankles, rotation of your hip going internally, which is very, very common. And you need that internal rotation in order to create power and all those kinds of things. If you're struggling to shoot, if you're struggling with speed on the field, whatever it is, this here is going to be very, very powerful. You're going to need things like a dumbbell or a kettlebell. You need something to build your foot up onto for the first exercise. And then you need a barbell, or you could also use dumbbells or kettlebells for your hang pulls. So follow suit. The first exercise is a rear foot elevated split squat. Old school stuff, you might also know it as a Bulgarian split squat. For this exercise, you're going to need something to build that back foot onto. When you start out, it's very, very common, guys, to see that you put your foot back on a bench or something similar and it's really, really high up. That is unnecessary. Start with a lower surface and then you build your way up onto something that's, probably like 30 centimeters or so over time. If you can and you don't have any crazy toe injuries, being on your toes like this is going to be a lot more beneficial than being flat on your foot, so you can actually utilize that back leg throughout the exercise instead of just letting it fucking hang there. So that's that. When you do this exercise, the load must be placed on the outside of your knee. That's really important because when that load is on the outside of your knee, we get a little bit more activation going inwards. So we're biasing that rotation going in your hip. If we hold the load on the inside or we have a barbell on our back, that load tends to go out in this direction. So then we're doing something completely different. It's very, very important. So for the first exercise, you place yourself in a position where you're almost 90 degrees, but you need to have that knee and your head over your foot at all times. It doesn't have to be super far over, but it can't be behind. Then with your back leg, you're on your toes, and in the bottom position, you should be at approximately this kind of angle. It'll look different for some of you, but that's totally okay. The load will be on the outside of your knee, and then we start in the top hip. Head and knee over foot, your front foot sinking into quicksand, and then with your back leg, imagine that you have a zipper here and you turn that zipper in this direction. From here, bend your back knee and keep a nice and controlled tempo on the way down and then come back up again. Very simple. Doing between 3 to 5 repetitions will give you a lot of load and a lot of control straight off the bat. Very simple approach from there. Add 1 rep or 2 reps every week or so until you can hit 10 repetitions, and then you can bring it back down again to that sort of 3 or 5 repetition mark and then add more weight. So here's an example. Here we go, nice and simple, zipper turned in, head and knee over foot, then we just slowly sink down for the number of repetitions that we want. For your hang pull exercise, I prefer to do them with a barbell. It's a little bit easier, but if you don't have a barbell, you can use dumbbells or kettlebells as well. Our goal here is to start with the object that we're holding just around sort of knee height. We don't want to have any momentum coming down. We want to start here completely dead. When we are here, imagine jumping as high as you can with the top of your head coming to the ceiling, but you have to come up onto your toes like a nice proud ballerina, and you're going to pull the object to about sort of chin height. So with the barbell, it would look something like this. We would start in this position here. We hold here. We're going to imagine jumping as high as we can and pull the barbell up. There's no weight here, so it feels a little bit awkward. Once you load it up and you're used to it, it's a very fun and powerful movement to do. And then we control it and go back down again. If you use dumbbells or kettlebells, you do the same. You just hold them slightly on the outside of your knees. And you do that for 4 to 6 or 8 repetitions. That's a very good range to start. The last exercise is a bent knee calf raise. What we want here is to keep our knees over our feet and toes at all times. Because if we straighten them out, we're targeting a completely different muscle. We have a muscle called the soleus muscle. It sits very deep here, right behind the bone, and it goes down to the sole of your foot. And it's a very important muscle in controlling your ankle. So from here, hold on to a rack for stability, or a door frame, or whatever it is. Bend your knees, so that the inside of your knee is just over your big toe. From here, you hold that position with your knees and come up, putting all the pressure towards the balls of your big toes. Always making sure that your head is over your toes at all times. I don't want to be here. That doesn't allow me to do the movement. I need my head over my toes. And hold the top position for a little bit and slowly lower back down. That's a high repetition kind of exercise most of the time, because you want that endurance and strength to last for a long, long time in those positions, and especially in that muscle. So doing anywhere between 10 to 30 repetitions could be a really good starting point for you. Just some general recommendations. Rest 2 minutes between each exercise. Leave a little bit of repetitions left in the tank, nothing crazy. For the first exercise, if you do 5 reps, you should probably be able to do 7 reps with that weight. For your hang pulls, move fucking fast, guys. It should not be crazy heavy. It should be fast. And then for the very last exercise, that should just be light and for longer. That's the whole approach there. So you move heavy, then you move fast, and then you move for longer in that last exercise.